All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. We're the brothers here in Jimmy, Tampa Bay. I'm the brother Mike Allah with
Your brother Malakia.
and we're just going to get a lesson in. Lord's will, of course, to be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem. And it's going to start off in Proverbs 24th chapter, which, of course, you can read the first verse, going to the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. But, you know, as going to with these elites, if I get that in Job about disappointing their enterprise, you know, what they want to do is they want to funnel the world into their NWO agenda, which ultimately is going to have everybody sea-hipped, which that prophecy is in Revelation 13 chapter, verse 16 on down, about a device being in your right hand on your forehead in order for you to participate in this devil's new world, where everything's going to be digitized, monitored, and obviously he's going to be a god over you, in which the prophets are warning and blowing the trumpet. But, you know, I say obvious, but really obvious for the elect. But for everybody else, you know, they're going to fall into the trick bag of the devil. But get that real quick.
This is the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointeth the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Right, so you go into the enterprise, you go into etymology of it, it's pretty much an undertaking. And you go into the back of the dollar bill. You know, one of the slogans, of course, is Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is Ordo ab Chaos, which another one's Ordo ab Chaos. But Novus Ordo Seclorum, that's God favors our undertaking, our enterprise. And what is the devil's enterprise with the all-seeing eye? You know, pyramid, which again going to his elite power structure with the elite banking families of Esau on down. You know, so matter of fact, get it real quick so I can pronounce it correctly. I think it's Novus Ordo Seclorum. Because obviously Ordo ab Chaos is order out of chaos, which pressure from above, pressure from beneath. Yep, Novus Ordo Seclorum. It says on the back of the seal, the dollar bill, a new order of the ages, but another one it means or maybe it's not Novus Ordo Seclorum. God favors an enterprise. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
I think because that goes into him, like in Psalm 50th chapter, he thought that the Most High was with him. He calls it manifest destiny, which the Lord was with him for a time, which ultimately, like he was with Pharaoh, just to make him an example when he destroys him. Because that's Psalms 9th chapter about the Lord is known by the judgments that he brings forth. I think, let me see.
Anua Coeptus?
Anua Coeptus. Yeah, appreciate it. Anua Coeptus. And what does it translate to?
He has approved our undertakings.
Yep.
He has approved.
Or God has approved our undertakings. Just going to his enterprise. So read that one more time, to Job.
Going back in Job 5 and 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise.
Yep. So going to his craftiness is going to his deception. You know, the same motto he told Eve in the garden, which it wasn't a literal serpent. You know, it was a man. You know, sons of the wicked, that said that you shall surely not die if you eat the fruit of this tree of the knowledge of good and evil, which was a lie, because the wages of sin is death. It brought forth sin. So he cunningly sold Eve, which Eve brought it to her husband Adam, about the ways of wickedness. And that's how he is with his philosophies and his mottos of the world, YOLO, and he gives you a mantra to live by, which is ultimately a falsehood. And imagine so with all these people in this world that are all consumed with themselves and narcissism. Of course they're going to chase after the money, because that's how they worship themselves. You know, because that's what they, especially in the Church of Satan, one of the highest high holy days is someone's own birthday. You know, so self-worship is a high tool in the devil's trick bag, is to make you think that you're in control of your life, you can do what you want to. So taking the C up, God wouldn't care if I take the MOTB. Same way they thought when they took the Juicy Juice. And now look what, now they're in shambles. A lot of their family members dropped dead from it. It's because why? Because they got tricked by the devil, man. You got some?
No, but just to kind of speak on what you're saying, the scripture says that what many people are going to be lovers of themselves in the last days, and that's this doctrine, this philosophy that he's pushed out throughout the four corners of the earth, and you can mainly see it here in Babylon the Great. This is where much pride has overtook most of these individuals. But as you see in the time of the the C19, the 2020, and you see many people getting their tickets taken, getting deleted. They actually got to see that they're not really fully in control of their own lives. They seen that it has to be something more out there, much bigger. That's why you see it's just a bunch of confusion around that time. But as you see it, the people, they're not in control of their lives. As they actually seen Esau really bringing down the clamp. All right, he's bringing and passing through different laws and stuff. They're seeing that this world was in a way into another shift. All right, this is Esau's part of Esau's agenda, his enterprise.
Now, get that real quick. We're not ignorant of his devices. Is it Corinthians? Because what he does is he creates an environment of desperation, and that's why people move in the direction you do, because you move off of fear. You fear you're going to lose this. You fear you're going to lose that. And that's what he threatened you when the C19 came. You're gonna lose your livelihood. Unless you participate, you take this. We don't know what's in it. Don't worry about it. Just take it, and you'll be all right. You won't die. And obviously that was a lie, man. You got it.
Yeah. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Yep. So what does it mean to get an advantage of somebody? Is to be in a more favorable position. So he subverts you. He tries to get you to let your guard down, and then he comes and bites you. That's what a snake does. You get comfortable. You mind your business. You're looking for the cheese, and then you forgot there's a trap. There's a whole serpent looking down and hunting you, man. Yeah. So going to us, we're not supposed to be ignorant of that, because what does he do? He waits as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Right. He plays off your simplicity and going to the mindset of the people of the world, which they're all into the flesh. All you do is care about yourself. That's what Satan was saying to the Most High when he was conversing about Job. He said, "Hey, skin for skin. Everybody is pretty much out for their own, man." So the counter to that is you got men here in the flesh that are not living to the flesh, living to the spirit, and that's the representation of Job. He had outward circumstances that weren't favorable, but he didn't compromise his integrity. Which that's not the case for the majority of people upon this planet Earth, because they're gonna do that to try to save their own life, which they're gonna lose. Yep.
It's the book of Proverbs 21 verse 30. There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord.
Yep. So what are these these G20 summit meetings and these Bilderberg groups? What are they trying to do? They're trying to counsel themselves into a favorable outcome. They're trying to control their destiny. So what they do, they sit together and they figure out how can they preserve and prolong their rulership, which they use wisdom, which comes from the left-hand side. That's why they have these secret societies, these groups that are inclusive or exclusive. You can't just hop in. You got to do these rituals. Got to be part of a certain family line, beyond the scale of the masonry, because you got everyday Joe Smoke and jump and be a mason, but there's a whole schematic or hierarchy that's outside of that, which you have no part of. So what do? They're trying to have counsel. They're trying to overcome the prophecies of Yahweh Shai. They're trying to overcome that a so-called America being Babylon the Great is going to be preserved or not be prolonged, or ultimately Esau and his rulership, the beast system is gonna live to fight on. That's why he loves the analogy of the phoenix. They're gonna, who says it back in the book of Job. I'm not Job, Obadiah. Though grab real quick.
Exalt.
Yeah, he's gonna build, but he's gonna throw down. The Lord said.
Yeah, this is the book of Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground.
Yep, and that's going to his position. He's in, like we just said, he's been in these summits are tops of mountains. So he's saying, who can bring me down from this height? Because going to, again, his pride, likening him onto an eagle. Who can fly higher than the eagle? So who's gonna come down? Who's gonna fly over and check the eagle? Because no one flies higher than the eagle. And that's how Esau is with his rulership. Who can come up here and bring me down? And that's him and his lofty tongue speaking up against the Lord, man.
I'm reading NLT. It says, you have been deceived by your own pride because you live in a rock fortress and make your home high in the mountains. Who can ever reach us way up here?
Yep, and that's going to, when he used to dwell on Mount Seir. Of course later on the Caucasus Mountains, but really Esau's from Mount Seir. And Mount Seir, if you look at Petra, you look at this architecture, that was back then. Look up Petra, looks the same as these Greek Roman-esque government buildings, which you see here in so-called America and around the world. And what do? They hide, in these mountains and rocks because they say who can come and challenge us, right? And that's how he likens all the so-called America as a fortress. Right. Who can penetrate? Who can as through to say who shall make war with the beast, man.
Verse 4: Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord.
Yep. So as you are as high as you are, the Lord gonna bring you down from your height. It says, I seen Satan cast down as lightning, because that same glory so-called America had, that fear it had in the world of being a superpower, it's not the same no more. So right now, America's living off old glory. Selling wolf tickets, and we're the big bad wolf, and we'll do this to you, do that to you. And these nations like, yeah, you can do that, but guess what? We got missiles too. We have defense mechanisms. We have stuff in place to hurt you. And ultimately, they're going to be gathered together to, overcome and take out so-called America, being Babylon the Great. You read about that in Revelation 17 chapter. Even America's own allies, of course, with the rest of the world, mainly spearheaded by so-called Russia, being the land of Gog and Magog, prophesied to take out so-called America, man. But go ahead.
But going back in Proverbs 21 and 21 and 30.
Yep.
There is no wisdom, nor understanding, nor counsel against the Lord.
Yep, because the knowledge they use is wickedness. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom and apocrypha. Neither the counsel of sinners kind of prudence. The whole reason you have counsel is to be prudent, meaning you're foreseeing the future. You see an outcome coming that might not be favorable, so you shouldn't go in that direction. Well, that's why it's what to say about the Temanites, the wise men of Esau. Has wisdom departed? These so-called German scientists, which supposed to be the smartest people upon the planet Earth. They have no answers for the mess that they created. That's why really their next plan, besides bringing a economic collapse and having everybody fight against each other, they're gonna really just wait off and hide in the cliffs of the rocks until things pan out, because it's gonna get so out of control. But go ahead.
This is the book of Proverbs 19 verse 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai that shall stand.
Yep, and that's why you go into Peter. It says we have a more sure word of prophecy. So sure meaning it's especially when you're doing business, you wanna have a product that is ultimately sure. So again, you go into the word sure means reliable. The word of the Lord is 100% reliable, because why? He said he's a man, he shall not lie. And what did the Lord say about the wicked counsel of Esau, even the white man of the nations? He's going to bring you down, confound you, make it fall flat on his face, right? Because why? Because now is the time for the Lord and his kingdom to reign on the earth as it is in heaven, which belongs to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans on the Yahweh Shem Shai. So this whole agenda 2025, agenda 2030, it's all nonsense, man. Trying to preserve your kingdom when the Lord gave you a time to rule. He said he had set bounds you can't pass, but go ahead.
Going back in Proverbs 19 and 21, there are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. And it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai's counsel. Okay, the things of what's being played out right now, this is the Lord's counsel. Everything is going to play out in his hand, not to whatever Esau, Edom think is going to play out. His agenda, his new world orders, his executive orders, all the things that he has in place. All right, this is really just all doings of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, so it's going to be the Lord's counsel that's going to stand. This is how Esau is going to be put up into the trip bag. This is how Esau is going to be brought down, saith Yahweh Shem Yahushai. He said that he was going to bring him down, even though that way he may build up, that he's going to bring him down. He's going to bring his pride down. All right, so showing you that way, it's the counsel of the Lord. All right, it's going to stand. What's that in the book of Isaiah? 46.
But declaring that from the beginning. Yeah.
Because it's
10.
already been written. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 46, and verse 10, declaring the end from the beginning and from the ancient times the things that are not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand. So another clarification. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, his counsel is going to stand. And it says, and I will do all my pleasure. So it's going to be in the pleasure of who? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's going to be his will that he's going to have everything to play out the way that he wants it to play out, not according to what Esau says is going to happen.
Exactly. And that's why it says in 2 Corinthians 13th chapter, we can do nothing against the truth before the truth. And now's the time for the truth to prevail. You had your lies, you had your season to deceive everybody, which you can do one more time, one more great time. We're in a time of great deception, but we're in a time of the Lord having his men overcome, which goes into his elect. Ultimately, Yahushua getting the victory. Because again, like you just read, it's already been written. Where's the extra script that the Lord said this devil's going to overcome? It doesn't exist. Because that would make the Lord the author of confusion. So that's why ultimately we glory that we know Yahweh Bashim and his counsel. That's really starts with the fear. You can have all this money and be in high places, but people like that don't last long in history. We read about Alexander the Great and Nebuchadnezzar and all these so-called great figures in history, and where are they now? Where's their remembrance at? We just read about them in books, and that's about it. Their power structure, their influence, all that energy they use for their nation, their country, their own belief systems. Where is it now? It's in the dirt. And that's how it is going to be with Esau Edom and his sign so-called. It's ultimately just a waste of time. Might as well just lay down. But again, that would ruin the script too, because it said he's going to go down fighting. Second 13th chapter, Revelation the 12th chapter, war in heaven. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's what ultimately gives us comfort that the Lord is in control. Because imagine if this devil did have the control he boasts of, like he's God and he has the power to change time and go into portals and all that kind of stuff. Imagine how spooky it would get, man. But call out Yahweh Bashim Shai. Matter of fact, we'll close out in Psalms, the 9th chapter. We like the last two verses. I think, let not man prevail, rise. Yep.
Yeah. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 9 and verse. I'll start at 18.
Okay.
It says, for the needy shall not always be forgotten. The expectation of the poor shall not perish forever.
Right, and it's talking about the elect that are sighing and crying. Because you got people of our people that are poor, but they're out there marching for BLM. They're marching for alphabet gangs. That's not what the Lord's rocking with, man. He's dealing with those that are sighing, crying for the abomination that be done in the midst thereof. The elect, crying day and night. The poor, pretty much our cause is going to be hurt. And what is our cause? We want the place to be destroyed. As the scriptures say, we're not going to do nothing. We're not going to gather up arms and we're going to have this plot and plan over. No, the Lord going to do all that. It's ultimately falling upon his head, because as scriptures say, Satan divided against Satan, which Yahweh said, the kingdom can't stand. So that shows this place has been on ticking time. You got these movies coming out, which just came out, Civil War. And what do you think this is all about, man? It's getting you ready for what's to come. There's a new Black Ops game coming out. It's all showing about sedition and lies. And hey, man, it's the time, man, where the Lord's ultimately going to bring this place down. Go ahead.
It reads on. It says, arise, O Lord, let not man prevail. Let the heathen be judged in thy sight.
Yep. And that's what we're waiting. We're waiting for the heathen to be judged. And even that's 2/3 of our own people. But, as going to the power structure of Esau, the heathen nations that rule over us with an iron fist, no mercy, just beating down, and not letting up. As scripture say, forward in the affliction. And what's the Lord going to do? He's looking down and seeing there's no deliverer, just like he did in the time of Judges. He's going to send a deliverer. He's going to send Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
It says, put them in fear, O Lord, that the nations may know themselves to be but men.
Yeah, exactly. That inner dialogue, and when the elites, their plan falls upon its head, and it's all in shambles and chaos. All that work and energy they did, energia, the working of Satan they've been doing, all fall on his head, and they realize that Satan's been against them the whole time. They've just been deceiving them. The counsel of the Lord was ultimately in control the whole time. They're gonna be saying, damn, like we messed up, man. They're not gonna repent, because we're gonna say that he's not gonna repent for what they've done, but they're gonna have a bone in their body saying, the Lord, we fucked up. You know, especially when the so-called alien invasion comes, and which is gonna be Yahushua and the angels pulling up in a miraculous fashion, and you just got your boy toys with guns and missiles, which not gonna do a dent in the Lord's army.
Nothing.
You know, that's why it talks about in the Apocrypha about having a
lifted up hand or something.
yeah, that too. But I'm saying about their descendants, they shall be reproached for his sake.
Yeah.
You know, ungodly children. Pretty much, they're gonna complain because of their forefathers. How's it go?
Like an ungodly father or something like that?
Yeah, I forgot how the wording goes. You know, because what it wasn't the average everyday Edomite say, I never owned slaves. You know, I never did none of so-called black people. My best friend's black. You know that. Oh, they should complain of a yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep. Ungodly father, because they shall be reproached for his sake. Yeah, exactly. It's Sirach 41st chapter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you gonna have to drink double, man. All the stuff you ran from. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yep. The Sirach 41:7. The children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. So who's your ungodly father? It's Esau. You know, your forefather, man. He sold his birthright. You know, and this is the result of that, man. Esau is the end of the road. Jacob is the beginning of that follower, man. So those was edifying. As always, want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles with Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Shalom.
Shalom.